Today the topic is spiritual training or sadhana. You've described the way that Swamiji taught as unique. Can you talk about Swamiji's way of training you?
Yeah, like in Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna teaches from all avenues, you will be able to achieve yoga if only you adopt the right technique. Different avenues means jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, like this what the scriptures have advocated. Bhakti yoga, when you are able to fall in love with the divine in your bhava, and karma yoga, when you are active, when you put an effort, how to keep the mind quiet is basic question. So that's how, like, I got a chance to learn through all these things from Swamiji. First thing was a natural, as naturally I had fallen in love or loved Swamiji, so I never analyzed anything, so my mind became quiet. Whatever he did, whatever I was doing with him, and whatever was happening in the surroundings, whoever behaved in whichever way, nothing sat in the mind as a serious issue. So the mind receded and became quiet. It became as simple like that. It can be when you are ready to sacrifice your ego. If you don't have the ego, there is no arrogance also in the mind. No such imagination comes. It recedes. It becomes quiet. So then the karma yoga happens. The yoga, as I have told, technically, whenever the mind becomes quiet, it goes towards its origin, the divinity. It has no third way. Either it's into imaginations, when it gets scattered, or when it becomes quiet, it goes to divine, its origin. So like that, when it goes to its origin, that is the yoga, in union. Yoga means union with the origin. In union with the origin. When the mind becomes one with its origin, when the droplet becomes one with the ocean, merges with the ocean, that is yoga. But if the droplets comes out of the ocean, if the mind comes out of the divinity, that is viyoga, away, not in union. So like that. So that is the way, like service is necessary, Swamiji taught. Like remember, the first time he came to Dehradun, 1974, 15 days after I had reached this place. So as he was sitting and conversing, like he inquired, how is this a place? Have you liked it? It's good for your sadhana. Then suddenly he said, if you clean the toilets of the ashram, do seva, you will understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Means service. So without analyzing, if you are ready to do any work, if you don't have any reservation, having any such infinite egos, like, oh, I belong to this caste, I cannot work on these things, so I belong to this status, I cannot get down and work like anything, I will have my own status, I need 4 other servants for me. So there were no such things. When we had given up everything, there was no need for anything, and we had no subtle body imaginations at all, what I was and what I was not. So always the search was, I, the Atman, who am I? So I must know that one. If I am the Atman, why is that I am not aware of that? Like that only the thinking used to be there. So that was how Swamiji taught. Also Bhakti Marga, pour your bhava also. So Swamiji used to encourage, you have to sing bhajans emotionally. So then one time, I remember, it's coming to mind, Swamiji said, imagine that your God or your Guru is standing in front of you. And imagine, solidly imagine, when your mind becomes concentrated, then you can become emotional also. With that emotion you sing, then the bhajans come out very sweetly. Otherwise it will be dry. Simply you sing it like a chant without any bhava. So then it will be very dry, he said. So like that if you singing a bhajan, you need bhava. So that is the Bhakti Margas, one of the basic important thing. Singing bhajans, music, with all pouring all your bhava. When you love the master, you love the master and the master is just standing in front of you. He is watching. You see, when I am sitting here, next to me is Swamiji's dais here. I feel that all the time he is watching me and quietly he is pulling me also. I sit correct, properly, dress properly, all like this. He used to do that one. So like that. So we always remained. We went on learning in everything. Also he insisted that I meditate. He doesn't meditate like that. He used to keep scolding. So you must meditate, he used to tell. So he used to teach that one and talk the finer points also. So thus we will be mentally what has to happen in meditation that he used to talk. Mind has to become quiet. Just keep watching. When I ask you to watch, you watch and don't do anything else. If you do something else, then you are not listening to my orders, my commands. If you don't listen to my command, it's not my job. I cannot help you. Like Ashtavakra said, if you listen to me, I will give you self-realization. If you don't listen to me, then I cannot help you. So that's what is important. When the master says, just watch means you just watch. That is important for you. Right? So that is how he taught dhyana yoga also. Jnana yoga, of course, he spoke to me his experiences. He taught those finer points. Mind, it happens like this. Mind comes here. This thing happens. God appears also. He will test for ego. First test will always be for your ego. If you get attracted to your ego, you are gone. You are going back. Many lives, many thousand life cycles. Always he used to talk about 55,000 life cycles. You are going back like that. If you become egoistic, then that will give you arrogance also. Just don't bother. No issue. Meditate yourself. So like that, when Swamiji went away from here, after attending to the daily chores of the ashram, I used to go behind the bushes. In those days, there were bushes and trees, beautiful trees. Sit under a mango tree and then meditate for 6 to 7 hours. Then used to come back. When we meditated like that, the world did not see, because there were no matted hair coming, no beard coming. We had to keep ourselves clean shaven, everything like that. The world sees only the outside structures. They don't understand what one would have achieved by tapas, by meditation, all these things. So like this, Swamiji taught in every way, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga. This is it. Mind is this combination. So you apply that mind, then you will know what I am trying to tell you. Like that he used to tell. You need to have faith. If you have faith, then the Guru will have to bless you. So these type of beautiful gems he always used to speak. Like that he taught in so many ways and insisted sadhana must happen for everybody. Even if simply somebody is my relative, they won't get any such thing if they don't do sadhana. If they don't purify their minds must not be corrupted. Whether it's my disciple or anybody, they will have to do sadhana. That is important. Swamiji said always.
Thank you, Babaji. So all three aspects of the practice were present all the time. Sometimes you were so busy, you were working from very early hours till very late at night. You may not have had much time to meditate at all. Other times you had hours every day to meditate. For you, was it just all seamless? It was all just the same practice? Or is it important that all three are done because they use different aspects of our personality?
when you are with the master, when you are serving, if you adopt that attitude, all the three can happen. Bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga also will automatically come. You will learn. So when your mind gives up all its corrupted thoughts, when it becomes quiet, when it loses anger and ego, all these things are very important. So then it stops. So that method you have to adopt. If you don't adopt the method, even if you sit closing the eyes for hours together for 40 years, you won't achieve anything. That is important. You can be just sitting. People might be wondering, oh, this man is doing so much of meditation. He is sitting like anything. He is really realized. He has achieved samadhi. People might come. But no change would have come in the personality or in the knowledge, in the achievement of quietness of the mind and awareness of the self. Nothing would be there. So that's important. So if the destiny makes you that you have to serve, you have to work, consider this is the prarabdha that has to happen, and just keep quiet mentally. That serves your meditation. Actually, you are meditating if you are quiet. You are meditating so that you can be quiet. So if you are quiet, you are meditating actually. So that's what has to happen. So this is what I adopted. Never bothered for anything. No issue was an issue. Nothing sat in the mind. Whatever people behaved. So that's when we understood this mind can get hypnotized if we do not take care by our own imagination effects. By our own imagination effects, we can be hypnotizing our own mind, ourselves, unknown to us. So every time you think, you become egoistic and arrogant, you would stubbornly forget about yourself and you would behave in that way that is coming to the mind. And everything is gone, all knowledge, all wisdom, everything flies away, nothing will be there. So that's important. Practice, that's why he insisted on sadhana. Sadhana is important. He used to do. Sadhana means your efforts to achieve. That's why he always emphasized on sadhana. He didn't say simply you have to sit in dhyana yoga only. He used to say, of course, meditation, you do meditation. But he often insisted on you have to do sadhana, you have to do sadhana. So I used to think, what is the secret of those two terminologies that Swamiji uses? One time he says you have to meditate also. Then he says you have to do sadhana. So then when I asked him, then he told sadhana can happen in every way. Meditation, you close the eyes and sit, then watch. Otherwise, while act in all other ways also, you will be simply watching if you don't imagine anything. Like that he taught us.
Thank you. You have said sometimes when you were a child, a small child, you tended to focus on looking at faults in yourself and not bother about other people's faults. Is that also a spiritual practice that we should adopt?
Yeah. So that's how you can overcome corruption in your mind when you take care of your own fault, and then you won't become anger, you won't go into an egoistic, and you won't get into arrogance. All these things will disappear. You will be quiet and smiling all the time, and you will simply go on. So when you give up all these things, that is very important. You must look after yourself. That's what is Swamiji meant. Those who can find their own faults, they become great people. So if they cannot understand their own fault, they are condemned. Swamiji used to say like that always. They will be condemned for 55,000 life cycles always, undergoing all sorts of calamities and egos and troubles and problems, imaginations and bondage, everything will be there. So this is very important. That's how the sadhana can happen.
So if we look for faults within ourselves and pull ourselves up, how can we make sure that that's done constructively and somebody doesn't go into low self-esteem and depression for all the mistakes they make?
You see, if we understand our fault but does not want to rectify, if we want to rectify, we will be enthusiastic. That will be wonderful. It's like oh, this was the fault. Now I am able to set right this. Now I will be all right. Now let me see. Next time, let the illusion come. I will deal with it. I will give it back its own medicine. Like that. Otherwise, you just, oh, I am fault. Oh, I am arrogant. Oh, I am egoistic. Like that, you keep talking, but don't want to rectify that mistake. Don't want to give up that ego. Then you are likely to go into a depression. There is a thin edge of difference between self-esteem, self-respect, and an ego. A depression and enthusiasm, passion. So all these things differ. So you have to be, when you are playing a match, if you go into depression, the opponent will win. You have to be enthusiastic, concentrate. Always Krishna advised Arjuna, Bhima and everyone. Look at the enthusiasm of Duryodhana. He ridiculed Bhima. You are not enthusiastic. You need to be enthusiastic. Then you won't feel tired. Keep it up. Come on, go ahead like that. He was encouraging them. That encouragement is very necessary. Simply, you see, committing a mistake is not a problem. All of us commit a mistake. Somewhere, at some corner, on some avenue, somewhere we would have done. The problem is if we become egoistic, don't want to accept our fault and don't want to rectify our mistakes, that is wrong. Committing a mistake itself is not wrong. You can rectify that once you understand, oh, I was wrong, I am sorry, I must not be doing like this, I must not be behaving like this. Instead, some people, when they realize their fault, they try to throw tantrums. They become angry, they don't talk, they become like this, I don't want to come with you, I am not going to go anywhere. This type of tantrums they keep throwing. That is wrong. They go into depression. They will never learn in life. They will simply end up feeling jealous of all others who are developing, who are talented, who go. We have seen many people in the society. Some people, they simply keep feeling jealous of people, but they themselves don't want to become talented or learn. If somebody else sings beautifully, they become jealous. Somebody else plays the instruments beautifully, they become jealous, but they don't want to learn. Why not learn themselves instead? If you appreciate the other person who has learned and who is able to play anything. If a person is doing very well in life and is doing all the jobs, business, anywhere he is doing very well, appreciate, and you also try to become talented. That is important. So that is how I always used to say in our mission, those people who are talented, if they are unable to dedicate to our mission, all those really who have dedicated, you try to become talented. That's it. You would have overcome all problems. You learn dholak, you learn singing, you learn the office work, you do this one, you learn this. That's it. So that's how I also learned everything. I didn't know many things. Dholak I learned, harmonium I learned. I thought this will be useful to the mission. I must learn. I was appreciative of others playing. Oh, they also play very nice. And I used to pick up those styles and strokes, and that's how I improved ourselves. Singing also, we improved ourselves. The bhava we used to give. We used to listen, oh, record, oh, this is so nice. I can adopt this. It will be so nice. Like that, instead of feeling jealous, if we adopt and if we develop ourselves, how beautiful it is. That becomes a sadhana. That will be a meditation for you. You also become talented. Say simply, oh, he is going to Zoom, he is going to meditate. They don't want to come to Zoom, they don't want to meditate, but they keep criticizing, making fun, feeling jealous. Why? Like that. If somebody is singing very well, their voice is so beautiful, we must appreciate. And then we also try to develop ourselves, open up. So instead, if we feel jealous, no sadhana happens. So that is very important on the path of yoga, spiritual path, spiritual sadhana. This is very important. Jealousy is one of the strongest enemies of human mind. Apart from other things that we think, greed, anger, attachment to impermanent world, jealousy, false pride, jealousy, they are very strong. They never allow one person to develop. They will be depressed all the time, but feeling jealous of others. They don't want others also to sing, and they also don't want to sing. They will become that type of person. Such people will be jealous of you. They don't want you to go to meditate, and they also won't come to meditate. And they will not allow you to go and meditate. They will try to create some problem, something, some tantrums they will throw. They don't want to come on a traveling, and they won't allow others to travel also. So that type of thing happens. So that is how sadhana, taking care of our own ego, our faults, commitment to rectify, and remain enthusiastic always, happy, no depression. Depression is created by our own selves. When we don't want others to perform and when we don't want ourselves to learn, so that gives depression, which is not necessary. I have become yogi. I don't have to be jealous if somebody else also becomes yogi. I have told 100 yogis, 200 yogis, if they become real yogis, all of them will have work. Whole world, so much is there. They can influence everyone. They can travel anywhere they want. They can nothing. Whoever is destined to receive our blessing, they will come. I don't have to feel jealous with others.
Thank you, Babaji. It's been described that the world is like a crocodile ready to bite every moment. So sometimes, I'm sure you experienced it, where you were almost surrounded by enemies or people who wished harm or tried to drag you down. How did you deal with those individuals when they were trying to be difficult?
Without losing enthusiasm again the same thing. Keep going. Like Swamiji taught, if anybody makes fun of you, why you are eating 2 rotis, that day you eat 4 rotis with full enthusiasm. Don't go into a depression, don't feel sad. Somebody criticized you why you are eating rotis. It's your roti, you eat. We have earned our rotis, we will be eating. Who the hell is somebody else to criticize me? So like that, everywhere. If they made fun, oh, he is sitting on the dais. I am sitting, yes, I will put a new nice cloth and then sit and teach. Want to teach it? We will do that one. If you don't like, you don't like. What can I do? But we won't lose that enthusiasm. I don't have to go into a depression. Oh, he is telling me I should not be sitting. So this is very important. The old stories we all have read, everybody knows, and I have also told. So there were a father and a son. They had an old ass donkey with them. So they wanted to dispose it, sell it in the market, they thought, because it has become old. And they started taking it, tying a rope, father and son. They said, okay. Then some people criticized, look at these idiots. The donkey has become so old, but they are dragging it on the ground. One of them should have put this donkey on their heads. So then the father says, let me put this donkey on my head and carry. So it also has become old, otherwise people will criticize. So he started carrying it. After some distance, some people started laughing. Look at this young boy. Instead of he carrying, he is making his old father carry it on his head. So how ridiculous this is. Then the son takes it. Oh, father, let me carry the donkey on my head. You don't do that one. You are an old person. I am young. Then again people criticize, he is young, poor fellow. This old man, he should be carrying the donkey instead of he carrying. So why is he making his young son to carry it? He doesn't feel sad at all. So like this, when people went on criticizing, they became tired and they couldn't take it anymore. And they came across a bridge and there was a river. They threw the donkey into the river and returned. They couldn't do anything. So such people cannot do anything. Whatever you do, you shave your head, or you grow your beard, or you grow a matted hair, people will criticize when they have to criticize. You talk about the truth, they will criticize. Oh, Swamiji never used to give lectures. Oh, Babaji gives lectures. I tell you, it is not lecture, it's upadesha. I talk my experience. I'm not a scholar. I don't read books and simply give talks like that based on the reading of books like that. So, but I carry on. I carry on talking. When people ask question, I answer. When they are ready to listen, I go on talking sometimes. Sometimes I don't talk if I don't want to. But I don't depend on who praises or who criticizes. So that way also a sadhana will happen perfectly. We won't go into any depression. That's very essential during sadhana, that we don't go into any depression. We just do our job. When you are serving also, we used to do our job, that's all. Many people criticize. From home front also many people criticize. I just decided I am going. I just came. Didn't bother who is commenting about what thing, nothing. Here also anybody commented anything. Anything happened, never bothered. We just went on doing. So that's how we survived. We stayed back in the ashram. It's 50 years now. So like that, sadhana happens when you remain determined. Don't look back. So somebody might criticize your guru. Oh, what the guru? I don't believe in all those gurus. No problem. If you don't like the guru, I like the guru. I love the guru. I am going to be with the guru. I have faith in the guru. I will carry on. If everybody in the world exercise their choices, if you observe, everybody want to exercise their choice, but they want to impose that choice on the other also and brainwash them. If they don't like, they criticize. Oh, you are a devotee of that guru. They will criticize. They will do a sarcastic remarks. Yes, I am a devotee of that guru. I also used to answer. In college days, I am telling, when I was young. So I just used to reply them in their own tone. So what is there? You don't like the gurus? I like the gurus. That's all the difference. So you like tight pants and I don't like the tight pants. That's all the difference. It's up to us. You have your choice. I have my choice. That's it. So I do pranam in front of a temple. You do pranam anywhere you want. You don't want to do, you don't do it. So that attitude, what Swamiji taught very well. You eat 4 rotis. Don't feel sad. Don't go into any depression. You meditate. You do your sadhana. You will find the truth one day.
Thank you, Babaji. So focusing on the meditation technique, there are some meditation teachers who teach that we should do an exercise to concentrate the mind first and then go into meditation. So you concentrate the mind and then meditate. But this meditation technique, you don't do that. Can you explain about that?
Actually, you are practicing concentration also. Watch in between eyebrows means you just watch there. And you won't watch the sky, you won't watch the idol, you won't watch anything else. You won't open the eyes and watch anything else. Keep the eyes closed and just watching. You are practicing concentration, highest method actually. You are practicing the concentration of the mind without using any external anchor. Just on one point, single-pointedly where there is no point. Just like it is there and it is not there. You are meditating single-pointedly on a point where there is no point. They had a fort which did not have walls type. The princess, 3 princes. So that type of thing. You are concentrating where you are not concentrating on any particular object. You are concentrating the mind as it is. The highest method. Mind is becoming concentrated. When it becomes quiet, it becomes concentrated and goes introverted. So that's what it is. What others, some teacher, because mind is used to sound and sight, they try to give some anchor, some chant, some mantra or some forum, so that you first practice your concentration on that. Then you will be watching the idol, then you will be watching the book, then you will be watching the candle, you will be watching this, you will be watching that. Whereas here, just watch in between eyebrows. But don't think that you are watching the eyebrows. You are not watching anywhere. Your mind is becoming quiet and it goes introvert. This is the highest method that Swamiji got from Jangama sage, and Swamiji taught this one. So other methods are all like preliminary round exercise of practicing concentration on an anchor, on an object. Using an object, you try to practice concentration. So then afterward, the divine has to help you to give up that anchor so that the mind can go introvert and become one with the divinity eventually.
Thank you, Babaji. There was somebody who sent in a couple of questions very much on this point about focusing in between the eyebrows. His question is 2 parts. I find it difficult multitasking. In other words, focusing on the space between the eyebrows, and then, if thoughts come, watching the thoughts. So he's seeing it as multitasking, focusing between the eyebrows and watching the thoughts. Could you explain about this, please?
One important thing, all of you, there is no multitasking. Only one task, watch. Now, multi things, whatever it comes in front of you, watch. If it is space, watch. If it is thoughts, watch. If it is nothing, watch. If it is something, watch. So where is the multitasking? Because you are going on imagining in multitasking way, oh, these are the thoughts, oh, this is the space, oh, why this space, oh, why this thought. Don't try to think like that. Don't imagine like that. You just watch. Then you will realize it is only one task. Your task is to watch. Whatever happens, that we repeatedly tell. Just try to be in between eyebrows. Even if it is not possible initially, just watch the front portion. So then, whether it is space, whether it is dark, whether it is black, whether it is good, whether it is evil, whether it is devil, whether it is angel, just watch. That is one task. You just watch. Then all the multi things, they will all disappear, dissolve. They are all there because you are taking a multitasking of imagining. That's what is happening. So then it will be all right.
So you've been talking today about the importance of sadhana and how if you don't do the sadhana, then do I understand correctly? You're saying if you don't also do the sadhana, then sitting for all those years in meditation will have no fruit?
Yes.
Okay, that's a very surprising teaching. So perhaps you can talk about that some more sometime. But maybe we don't have so much time. One sadhana that you were doing, I don't think you've talked about much, is you talked about when you were a college student. Could you tell us a little bit about when you were a college student? I don't think you've told us about that.
So first I will clarify quickly, briefly. Sadhana means your efforts to achieve. That is a common word. Now meditation is a sadhana to effort to achieve the silence of the mind. So that means if you have not adopted the right technique, don't achieve the silence, then even if you are going to sit for 40 years closing the eyes, it is useless. That is what I meant. So sadhana has to happen means The technique has to be adopted. Watching means you must be watching and not thinking. This is one important thing. Well, during my college days, the contemplation was always there. Like if I am the Atman, why is that I am consciously not aware of it? In my prajna, in my consciousness. What has made me to forget? And I always think about this body as my personality. Whenever somebody addresses me as my name into my name, or whenever I think about myself, only my consciousness sits onto this body. Why is this? This contemplation was always there. And devotional path, I used to keep talking to idols in the temples. Then by then I had read about Ramana Maharshi also, and his technique of who am I? Observe from where the I is coming. For 1 or 2 years, I think I practiced that in a small cave on the Chamundi hills of Mysore city. I practiced that, observing. That's when I understood this is also meditation. You watch from where the I is coming, observe from where the I is coming is the same. Eventually, later, next year when I got initiated by Shiva Balayogi and started doing that meditation of watching in between eyebrows, then I learned both methods are same and one. Observing from where the I is coming is the same. Observing or watching in between eyebrows also is the same. Here also eventually you will be watching from where the I is arising. Like that I understood, and I went on doing that sadhana. Though there was no such samadhi, but there was more peace. Less thoughts were there, very few. Because we were exposed very little to the outside world. There were no televisions, no mobile phones, no cell phones, nothing was there. Hardly few friends. Most of the time I used to visit like Chamundi Hills, go into the cave, sit down there peacefully, contented and at peace, no much cravings, no wanting, only wanting of Swamiji, my Guru. After I met him, I must go to him. So that used to be there. Like that, sadhana in those days was also very beautiful.
So when you say sadhana, very briefly, very quickly, when you say sadhana, you're saying that just sitting without a technique is not valuable. You need sadhana, you define as having a proper technique like watching between the eyebrows. Is that correct?
Yes. Means any technique that can quieten the mind. That is necessary.
Okay. Thank you, Babaji.
Hi, Babaji. I'm wondering if it's better for the spiritual progression of a person to get away from the city life and go to like some mountain to meditation.
Not necessary always. First you practice patience in the midst of city life, because you may need to earn a livelihood. Also, if suddenly you go to the mountains, if you are not used to such solitude, then your mind will trouble you. It will draw you back to the world. You go occasionally, sometimes you go and try. Like for 2-3 days you go nearby anywhere such. Then watch your own mind, whether your mind accepts such an atmosphere. So then you practice there for 2-3 days. Then come back to the world. Earn a livelihood. You work for everything. Then gradually practice the patience. Then the same effect will come in the city also. You will not get attracted to the materialistic world. You will be more interested in spiritual path. Like that you practice 50-50. 50 on the mountains, 50% in the city life.
Do we need to become like vegetarian? Is that better for the practice of meditation? Like better for you to concentrate?
There is no immediate need of such a thing. That my Guru never advocated, because he said, if you are interested in non-vegetarian, when you sit for meditation, your mind will be thinking of the non-veg only. So first practice meditation strongly. Then on your own, if you don't feel interested, you will be able to give up easily. That's what it is. So don't have a heavy eating always. Keep your body light, smaller meals. then you will be able to meditate better. If there is a heavy meal gone to your stomach, if indigestion happens, that will have an adverse effect on the brain also, because the blood has to be produced and that blood goes to brain. That is necessary. That is why a lighter vegetarian food is advocated. Even if it is non-veg also, take it lightly. Don't eat heavily in one go. Occasionally, once in a while, once in a week, once in a fortnight, little bit you eat when you feel like, and then continue meditation. Slowly you will be able to give up.
Sadhana is a very broad term. And so how do we choose what kind of sadhana we are doing? Like there's doing pujas and doing japam and then doing bhajans and then meditation, but everybody goes for the other sadhanas, probably because it is easier or we are more used to it. How do we divert ourselves to more meditation, or is just 1 hour enough?
Some important things that need to understand. Many people who choose such things as sadhana, worship or anything, they don't understand the technique that they need to apply the mind also. They think that if we take a camphor and do the arati to God, that's good enough even if our minds have run away somewhere. But that worship doesn't reach God, and that is not a sadhana. It's only a show in front of others. But if anybody can understand the technique of sadhana, is that the mind has to be applied, it has to become quiet. Then whatever appeals to you, you do puja, no problem. But your mind has to be there. You do bhajans, no problem. But your mind has to be there. And try to do 1 hour meditation. That is the highest. In 1 hour meditation, if you are trying to keep the mind quiet, that is the real worship you would have done. Everything else is overtaken.